Hey there guys and girls, and welcome to part 4. So, let's have a look. What we got planned today is, we've did the mouth, which will be under there. And what we want to do is bring this, actually I might not bother doing that, I think that looks alright. We don't need to bring that a bit more over. Right, so that's alright. But there is something else I'd like to be able to do on this mask. I want to shape it just that bit more. Maybe take this down a bit, make a little line in there. Let's see. I could like thicken this up a bit more around here so it's a bit like the skull bit. You know, so the face is a bit more bony then. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we will. We'll bring this out just a little bit more and try and level this cheek a bit, because it's thicker there, and it's going to get even more thicker, isn't it, when we're trying to bring out the siding. So I think we will actually start shaping the face. So with that being said, no, today we'll get the Velcro on, so it'll stay on here better, and then we'll start shaping the face a bit more. So for that job we need a glue gun, and obviously glue sticks and Velcro. So I'll just go and get that set and we'll work from there. Catch you in a bit, guys. Right, and we're back. Right, we've got a glue gun. You don't need a great big massive one, just a little thin one, because we're only going to be filling up this bit here. Right, and obviously glue sticks. Don't need a lot, we're only putting a little bit. So, but first off, before we go sticking the, we've got rough and smooth, or whatever you call it, Velcro. Links to these will be in the description as well. If you don't have a glue gun or glue sticks, they'll be in the description below as well. So what we want to do is we want to take the smooth, or in fact actually we'll take the rough, because we want the rough to be face down. Yeah. Okay, we'll take the soft first. Right, so let's take the tape effect. We don't want all this tape on there. There we go. Right, so what we want to do, without me unravelling it all, I think it's all starting to come out. We take off what we need. So in my case, in our case, we'll have it with the rough bit, the soft bit facing up, and don't forget, pull the mask on, so as if it's you that's wearing it. So we'll have that about there, and then that needs to go round, say about there, or we could just take it all the way around to the other side of the mask, which is right there. So how much we want of that, but don't forget how much you're going to be putting in. So just pretend this is on the inside, because that's where it needs to be, keep it all neat and tidy. So say about that much will be glued inside, You want it to go around the top part of your head. So push this back on. So put it there, away from the ear. Needs to be quite high up away from the ear so you got all that comfortableness. To about there. So that's how much we need cutting off. So we'll cut that off. You're not going to glue it all the way around, obviously. So we'll cut that off. I'm going to put this away before it starts unraveling itself too much. That'll do. I'll knock that out of the way. Right, so that's going to go round. Like that. Might even just cut half of that off, because the important one really is the long one. So really I should have just went to about there. Cut half that off. I'll put that in the bag so I don't waste it. And for the roof, that will be going the other way, but that needs to go all the way around. So it's going to go all the way around there, keeping away from the ears. I don't want it to rub on the ears and make them sore. So don't forget the same amount so far in. And the reason why I'd rather use Velcro is because it has that more stronger hold on it, like as if you're holding it with just two fingers. Putting it on, no stretch, no. A nice comfortable tension for the mask. The mask lasts roughly forever. No, we'll have this going up, because if you think about it, this roof is going to be pressing against your face. So I think what we'll do is we'll have this going up and this going down. Right, take the mask off and move Ed. I named my mannequin! Right, so we want this bit that way, the rough bit facing into the mask. So you got that nice soft bit, and it wouldn't matter if this is against the skin on you, because this is the soft bit. So put my glue gun on. Make sure you got a nice board to rest it on, because as we know that when these get hot they start to leak. You don't want the rubbery glue to get everywhere, so actually I will use Ed to make sure that I keep that measurement. In fact, actually what I could do is push them against here, and then I could draw on the inside where I want it to be. it gets hot, we'll put a bit of glue on the inside. So what we do is we'll put, when it gets hot, make sure that none of the glue touches the outside, because taking that off it's going to be a right pain. It's going to tear bits of your latex off and start ruining all that hard work that you've done. So you only want it to be on the inside, so you don't want tons of the stuff, just enough to go around it and hold the Velcro on. Make sure you press it down nice and firm. Quite hard, because you want it. And if the glue comes out, that's good. That's okay. It's doing its job. It's going to hold it in tight. And what you want to do now is when you've put it down and it started cooling, run a bit round the sides. Don't worry about going over it, because we want it to go a bit over anyway. It gives you that extra strength, and get a lollipop stick or something, and then very carefully smudge it on, so it's like almost like a ramp. And it keeps it all nice and smooth then. So you don't get them sharp corners digging in you. Very carefully hold it down on something hard and smooth, and just keep pressing around the sides and give it that extra strength. And there you have it. There's your first bit done. I think what I'll do is I'll put a little bit around there as well, just to make sure that it's got that extra strength. Just along the sides, and I'll rub it on. Smooth it down. Making sure it never goes where we don't want it to go, because we don't want to damage our mass, do we? So. And that should hold it quite firmly, and it's nice and smooth too. So have a little feel. If it is smooth, any lumpy bits you can easily cut away or tidy up. But if you get any, like I said, on the outside, don't just pull it, because you might end up tearing your latex. Right, so putting back on your mannequin. As you see, that is nicely away from the ear. So run it round. There's your side. We can cut some of this off, because we won't need all this, will we? So that should do it. You could even round it eventually. Once you put the other half on, round it up. Mark the other bit about there. Mark on how much you want to put on from the inside. Holding it tight so you don't lose that angle, so you've still got the same angle. And putting it back, making sure that your inside doesn't touch anything it shouldn't. Not easy this bit because the Velcro is trying to get where I don't want it to go. Trying to find a spot that doesn't have the glue on the outside. And again, if you get any that come out, which is good, try and see if you can spread it over a little bit so you get a nice little smooth ramp that comes away from the mask onto the Velcro. And don't just pull any bits that you don't want off because you don't want to damage your mask. There we go. I'm going to push that down. I've got a bit sticking up here. Let's try and cut that off best I can. That seems to be alright. The hard bit there, it's a bit rough. I want to smooth that down a little if I can. There we go. Move that to cool down properly. Put a little bit on the inside. Oh, it gets very hot. Got a bit on my fingers there. There we have it. Wait for that to cool down. If you get any rough bits, just try and snip them away if you can. Press it down as hard as you can, giving it some strength. I'm actually thinking maybe some of that away. As you can see now, you've got your Velcro bit. I might take some of this away though. I don't think we'll need all that. I'll snip that bit, put it in my bag. I never waste anything that I get. You never know when you might need it. So, very carefully, see if you just round it up. Try and tidy up the Velcro. That's what I like to do anyway. Tidy it up best I can. and neat and round. Right, so what we want to do now we've done that, we've got something to hold the mask on with. Gotta hold on nice and tight that. And then we need something for the mask, the mouth. Maybe we could actually, because looking at that now, it's making me actually think of putting it a bit more over. Yeah, we'll take the mouth a bit more over actually. So we'll move this out of the way, keeping it safe. I'll turn my glue gun off because I don't need that now. So let's get this on the go. Let's take a couple of plies of tissue. Now when you do it, don't go onto this mouth bit on here because you need it to be up. So that's going to be the tricky part. So we take it to about there, right, so it's not going right over the lips, right, just like a little bit over. See if we can zoom in and show you.
Hi guys, sorry about that. What it was is the camcorder stopped recording as I was zooming in, you know, and I didn't know it stopped recording. So all we did was I started to make it a little closer around the mouth, you know, just on the outside, to make that over flap, so that would have been the jaw bit and then the other bit would have come over, so it was going to be like that, but I had a little trouble doing so I thought more about it, thinking, well, the hair that's going to be on the mask will cover it, so we just carried on getting it ready and we started painting it. So skipping over to that, I'll see you over at the operating table on the other video, the rest of the video. Guys, catch you later.
Sorry about that. I was talking away and I was doing that and I tried to zoom in and then the recording stopped. So obviously the memory card got a little full, even though it wasn't full, but it's alright now. I emptied a lot of it. I put it onto the PC. And then when I came back, I decided that really we don't need to cover that bit there on the mouth, make it more go over, because it'll sort itself out. Once you're wearing it, it'll fit anyway. It's only because it's got, you know, pulled back on a plastic mat on a mannequin. So I got all my paints all sorted out, what we were going to be using. So we're going to give them a paint. I've got a flesh colour, hopefully it's flesh. It looks very light at the moment, but when it dries it gets darker. I've got a bit of white acrylic paint in there, but we don't need to mix any. I've already got it. But if you haven't got it, all you need to do is play about with your acrylic paint until when you get the right colour that you want. Then put the water and the latex in, because when the latex goes in it's going to get lighter, but when that dries, so remember, bear in mind, when it dries the latex starts to go a bit clear, so the paint will start looking darker. So don't go off by the colour of what, you know, you know, don't go by the shade that it is when you've got the latex in. Go by the shade of what you've made before you put the latex. So when you've made your mixture, don't put the water in, make your mixture, and then whatever measurement of that mixture of that paint is, add the same measurement of water, right, and the same measurement of latex. Give it a right good mix. If you can use a sauce bottle, an empty sauce bottle, that's even better, because then you can just give it a shake instead of mixing it in. Alright, now we have this air gun which does a wider range, which is really good. It has a little lock bit there, so you can turn that, and then this turns. It has little locks on it, and it turns, and they're quite strong. You see, you have a metal funnel here. And they're quite fairly easy to lock back on. Now with this, the more out this is, the more this goes in, which means more paint's going to come out. That adjusts how much paint's going to come out, and that one, not that one, I'm looking at the screen and I'm getting all mixed up, and this one here adjusts the airflow. Now this means it's going to be blown out like that angle, spreading out sideways. To adjust that, you just unscrew it a little bit and you can adjust that. Now I want it to go out sideways, so I'll have that like that. And we've got these ones here, which is pretty good. This one's a gravity pump. The paint goes in the top and blows out there. You've got a little screw at the back that pulls the pin out and let the more air out with the pin. That adjusts how much paint's going to go through. And you also have another screw inside here that adjusts how much airflow is going to go in. Now with these, you push in to let the air out, and then back to let the paint out. The more further back you push it, the more paint comes out. Same with this one. This one you just put a bottle and it goes underneath. But I'll be showing you all that eventually in time. All these will be in the link in the description. Same as my little adapters as well that I use. That they fit every airbrush for every size pump. Any airbrush, which is really useful. Alright, so what I've done is I've put a bag over my mannequin, so all paint will go onto the bag and onto here. Right, I've set the pump quite high. This will be in the description as well. To adjust it, you just pull that up, the little black nozzle up, and turn it clockwise a little bit at a time. Make sure it's turned off when you're doing it. You know, don't have it switched on. That way you won't damage it. You just move it a little bit at a time, switch it on, wait till it's finished up with the pump, let it out at the bottom if you haven't got the right knot. You've got a little valve at the bottom. It lets all the moisture out and unwanted air. So anytime you're finished with it, you know, let the air out. So what we're going to do is, I have my adapter that fits any gun. So this pump could just be pushed in like that, and then you can, right, and then you just put it back out. Put that. Now I have two little holders here, so I can just put this pump in, and if I want to switch to another gun I can. So this is a really good thing. It saves you having one and then cleaning it and then putting your paint in and then going over and changing it, cleaning it, putting some more paint in for another colour. I can just go from one to the other, and that's what we're going to be doing in this tutorial. Don't know how you're going to do it, but you can always pause it in time, within time. So I will use this one. I was in second mind in doing it because I'm indoors. There's no smell to it because it's only water, acrylic and latex, so it's all good. I think what I'll do is I'll pour it all in, because I can always pour it all back. Back in with what's not used. Now these big guns use a lot of pressure, so you need to do short squirts, because they need a lot of air pressure to get that, you know, right, you know, suction. Now usually if I was outside, it's not a good idea at the minute, it's too windy, so it'll just blow it back. Best thing to do is with these, first start off up around it and then down, but I can't do that or else I'm just going to get it all up here, and so I've got to be very careful. I need my board. What am I doing? It's right next to you. Right, now make sure you got a piece of cardboard or something you can always squirt on then. Make sure you got the there we go. And you can always check how much is coming out. Generator's going already, the pump's going already. Alright, so we're going to start at the side and work our way around. Don't hold it too close, you don't need to be too close. And that's the colour I'm after, so when that's dry, that will actually should get darker. I hope you don't get that much darker though. But I like that colour, that's good. I'm not worried about it going inside the cuts, so that's pretty good because it means it will get on the layer bits of the skin. And then we can use the little gun to do the final touch-ups. I might make him a bit dark around the eyes. That's another bit that needs cutting off. It doesn't take long for the pump to build up with enough. You want it round about, if you put it round about the 30 mark, that way when it starts dropping below that, it won't be so bad, and then you just wait and it builds back up. And then when you're using your little one, it stays on the 20, so which is just what you need for the little guns. I could turn it up a bit more, but I know I've got a fan blowing on this to keep it cold, but you don't need to do that. That's not necessary. It's not essential. It's just the way I am. So what I might do is there you go. And with it having latex in it, it's not going to be so bad to do. I might make another coat of this afterwards, actually. I might actually screw this in a bit more. I think I'm getting too much coming out. Right, put that there. I'm going to leave that to dry, and I'll see you guys in a tick. I think what I'll do is I'll put the fan on it. It might dry it out a bit quicker. I think I made it a bit too thin, but it's all good. Oh, we need to do the mouth. I forgot the mouth. We'll get that bit first, and then they can both dry together then, can't they? Put it on the board. I'll have to do this down here, so you won't be able to see. Sorry guys, but you get the idea. I'll leave that to dry, and I'll see you guys in a tick. Right, so as you see, I had it in a bit longer. I already covered it and I put it to dry. I already powdered it, but it felt like I felt as if it needed more drying. So, and we did the mouth. Now, I was thinking maybe putting a little bit of elastic, because it looks, I think it's going to be a little too slack at the bottom. So we did I'll just move these out of the way a minute. We did the Velcro, did the spray in. We want the elastic on this, and maybe a little bit of elastic underneath just under the chin. So I think what we'll do is we'll take this bag off for now. We don't need this bag on now, not just yet. We've got more painting to do to it. I want to make it a bit darker around the eyes. I want to paint this rope like maybe a creamier colour, and then this grey with a little bit of red, and then we're going to get some light red put in, painted in first, and then some dabs of dark red, and along the sides here we're going to put in some black. Okay, and then we'll get and paint the lips as well, because you can't just have it all just one colour, because our lips are a different colour, aren't they? So just put this on, just tighten this up, lie it down, get a bit of elastic. I don't want to make holes in it, tie it in. What I do want to do is, let's see, I could do that. Yeah, what I do want to do is put in a bit of elastic on the inside, so it's closed, and then this, obviously you put this on first, on you first, like that, and with the elastic, that's going to have elastic going, put it there, one going up and then around the ear, and same with underneath, it's going to go up and around the ear, and then this will also hold it in place as well. So it needs to be pulled tight, and that's the way we're going to do it. So I'll get me elastic. Right, so we've got our bag of elastic. We'll take out what we need. It's all tangled up. You wouldn't think all this is wrapped up. It's like Christmas wrapping paper, Christmas lights, isn't it? You unravel them all, spend hours and hours and hours untangling it, and you can guarantee that it will get tangled up again. Right, now my plan is not staples. There's not going to be much pressure on this bit anyway, but my plan is, if I can get that long should do it, and we'll have it where it's stretched anyway. Right, so just a little bit extra, cut that bit off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my glue gun. So, I'll unplug this a minute, put it down here, out of the way, and get my cardboard, and get my glue gun. Like an idiot, I took it and bring it, didn't I? My glue sticks, and my glue gun. Plug that in, wait for it to get hot. We've got our measurement. Now, for the next bit, in fact we'll do that bit after. While I'm waiting for that to dry, we could put on our red paint. Now what we want to do is get a lollipop stick, or yeah, a lollipop stick's best. I've got loads, it's just a matter of having hold of them. And give it a right good mix, because like I said before, the latex and the water and the acrylic paint like to separate, so you try to make sure they don't separate. There we go. Good mix. Make sure you get all around the sides. There we go. Now, I've got that sorted. We'll put that over to one side a minute. Lying back down. There's no point sorting out the gun first. because I need to glue this down first. I'd have to, because to paint this, what I'd have to do is unplug my glue gun and move it all out of the way, and then put my pump back up here, and I don't want to go messing with my pump. So. Also, I cut the eyes out a bit because when you paint over it, it starts to close up, so it gets a bit smaller. So I might actually go another, might just dab around the eyes afterwards. You will find that every now and then there'll be bits that just need touching, but that's okay. You don't even need your gun for that. You just use a sponge or something. Right, so we'll take this up here. In fact, now I'll mark it first. So that goes there. So we want it about there. Right, so we'll mark it with a pencil where we want to take it from, keeping the angle. Make the angle first. About there. So not too close to the edge. So very carefully peel that back. Take it down. Put it into the mask a little bit more. Mark where you want it to be. Just draw around it basically. You got your markings there. That smells like it's getting nice and hot. Now where's my drawing? There it is. And just like how you did when we put on the Velcro, you can't see, damn it, sorry about that guys, but you know what I'm doing. I'm putting the glue stick, the melted glue stick in that line, in there, and then I'm going to be putting this on top and then pressing it down very carefully not to burn myself. It doesn't need to be too thick, even more so with the fact that this is just an elastic, so it'll just soak it up. But be careful not to get it on the other side of the mask. Yeah, try not to press it down on anything, where there's melted glue. You don't want it on your mask or that good paint work gone to waste. Make sure it's pressed down nice and tight. So it doesn't break off. And just because I like to be super cautious, I put a little bit on the top of it. Not much, just a little bit. Get me a lollipop stick, another lollipop stick, because that one's got paint on it. And press it down. I'm feeling like press and spread, but not so hard where it'll rub it off or tear the latex. And let's cool down any bumpy bits. Just carefully snip that away. So flat like that. It smooths into the mask. That's one side done. Put him back on here. Lay him back down. Don't have it where it's too close to the neck, you want it up. Stretch it as much as you can. And holding that, getting your pencil or pen, mark the elastic where the lining is. Or what you could do is you could just hold it up like that, as if you're closing it, and then mark where you want it to be, making sure that they're both at an angle, the same enough angle. Then turn it around, get your pencil again. This is really what I should have done it this way, and draw around that bit that you're gluing on. And a little bit of glue again. On this side of there. I'm being very careful not to get any on the other side of the mask. Press it down with the glue gun again. The glue gun. Yeah, lollipop stick. Making sure that it's all covered up. Pressing it down. So let's see, if you're pressing carefully with your lollipop stick, putting some on the other side, you're soaking it through the stick. And this keeps it on. Yeah, should do it, I hope. Should do. Yeah, put a little bit more on. A little bit too much. Right, wait for that to cool down before I start putting it onto him. And while we're waiting for that, we'll move that out of the way, and then we're going to line it. Now we're going to line it where we want the elastic to be. So we want it to go up and over. So what you got to do, same again, you line it up with your mouth. And then back down to there, like that, so it's like, now, try that again, because it's just come off. Right, so, put it there, right, and you press it against your lip, right, also holding the amount that you want. Right, like that. Okay? Or, yeah. So, up, round your ear, back down to where the chin is. And we already know where we want it for the, where's my pencil? There it is. We already know where we want it on the lip bit. It's the chin bit that we want, and how much you want. So you just draw each side a line and then across, because now we know how much we want to cut off and where it's going to end up. And then you put this back onto the other bit where you'd be wanting it, and then you just draw around that under the lip at an angle, obviously. Now don't forget, you're also going to want these fairly tight, but not too tight, uncomfortably tight. You want them so it's tight enough to keep it in place, so it will move with your jaw. Now we've got that now, both sides. Don't know if it's going to show. There and there. I'll put a bit of glue on it. Start off with the chin. Pressing it down so it's nice and firm. Very carefully, because it's going to be very hot. Around that. Even though I knew it would get very hot, but I've always burnt myself, well, nearly always. I've burnt myself a lot on this stuff. Because I get a habit of using my hands a lot when it comes down to making stuff. Put a bit on the outside. I'm going to need another stick. Get that nice and tight. And do the same. Oh, trying to keep it smooth because it's got to go around your ear. Looks almost like one of the masks, isn't it? It goes over your nose. And mouth. I've done that side. Wait for it to cool down. And go back to this. See how well this turned out. Alright now. So basically when you put it on, you have to go up and round and then like that, and that actually it's not bad. Holds it underneath. And then this will come round and around the ear. I'll wait for it to strengthen up more. And then we can do the measurement for the other side then. scissors. Make it nice and smooth. You don't want it to be rough around the mouth. Try and make it as smooth as you possibly can. If you can. There we go. Right, so let's see. So that's that side, and then when it's pulled the other side, it'll actually go like that. Now we just wait for that to cool down. There we have it. So, what it'll be is the mouth goes on first, which will be, I don't know if it's going to hold it right around these ears, they're really slanted. I'm on mannequin. No, I'll have to put it on. Alright guys, mouth goes on first. That could do with being smoothed down, as you can see. And then we put this dude on. Now, well, I did try it. I had a look in the mirror, and this is what it looks like. It's not as good as I thought, but trial and error, isn't it? You know, I mean the mouth moves okay. Actually, it's not bad. And so let's have a look. And now, so it moves with your mouth. So I'm going to put, I will leave it like this actually, but I'm going to put hair around there. And I think we'll get and paint these bits now. Yeah, we'll paint these bits now. Put these on first. Yeah. So we'll put this back on him. And what we'll do is paint these bits now. Put his mouth somewhere for the time being. We won't be using this big dude for that because it's too spreaded. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to pick this up here, move my glue gun out of the way, let that cool down somewhere on the board. I like this, Bib's sitting right next to me. Got my dog sat next to me watching every move I do. Hey boy. Right, I'll put this back up here. Plug it back in. And take out the old air. Right, going to pump some new air back in. See, doing that gets any old air and any liquid that's in the bottom. It's in this bit here. And what we're going to be using, the gun I think I will use, I think we'll need a lot to it. I'd like to be in control of what I spray, so I'm going to use multi-action airbrush. Good, these got a nice little top, or somewhere safe. We're going to use, in fact, I will use, mix this up a bit more. It's getting all rubbery already. There we go. A little bit of red. Not a lot. Change the valve. Which is on this big dude, so I'll just unscrew that. And screw it onto this one, which screws there. And there. I'm not going to bother putting the bag back on it. It's just a matter of just rubbing off anyway, so I'm going to put this dude on here, like so. All good. Push that in into there. That's like that. I will take this off because I like to be able to control the needle and how much air is going to come out. That controls pulling this in, unscrewing that and putting it out a bit more, controls how much paint comes out, and this controls how much air is going to flow out. Don't need the elastic, so remove that out of the way and I'll get another one of my boards. In fact, actually what I'll do is I use the back of this to control how much I want to spray out. So, let's see. Oh, here we go. It was working before, why isn't it working now? Oh guys, I can't seem to get the pump right. I don't know why, but I'll work it out. So what we're going to do instead is we are going to have to paint it on for now, but it don't matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little sponge I've cut up. I've got a load of these. You just cut them in triangles, cut the size that you want. We just dab it into the little paint pot. And just dab it in the best we can. Now at the moment it's a bit pink, but when it dries, like we found out with this, but like I said anyway, that it does darken, so it shouldn't go all that dark. So I want to put in a light red. Now I would have used my other gun, but it's actually my pump. Try and get right under. dab it the best we can, because we want to get it inside the little cracks and the gaps, and a little bit on the little rim there, because this is the light red, and when that's dry we want to get it inside the little gaps, we want to get the dark red so it looks like a deeper cut. I know it's not my brushes, my air brushes. They're clean, they're not clogged. And I've got the pressure coming through right. And it's not the paint too thick, it's just the right measurement. Right in them gaps. Shame, when you use an airbrush it blends things in, but it don't matter. I won't let it beat me. The nozzle's not damaged on the airbrush. I checked. Want some of it on the outside as well, because it's a cut, isn't it? It's open flesh. Might even smudge some bits on the outside. You see the lump's a bit better now as well. That we made early, you know, in the I think it was episode 1. I think I might make some little around the outside of this a little. just that bit. I'm going to leave that to dry, and I'll catch you guys in a bit. There we go, all dry. As you see, like I said, it's gone darker when it dries. So what we want to do now is get the darker red, which actually kind of looks more pink compared to the red that we just used. Looks darker, doesn't it? But this one's the darker one, trust me. So get your lollipop stick or whatever and give it a right good mix. Make sure it's all mixed in good and proper, and you got all the sides. And then what we want to do is, I might actually make this into more of a tip, just like my mum, like I've done with Mum's kitchen. No, it's not that bad. I'll always clean up anyway after me. That's what I always do. There we go. I've made a nice little point. And what I want to do is I want to dip this in, because I need to get fine little areas, and then just where it's you got the little holes, the little dent bits, just dab it in there. Don't worry about if it's going in too thick, it doesn't really matter. Just stand out more, won't it? A bit inside there. And that'll do on that side, and I'll do these bits around the eyes. And then we'll use some medium liquid gloss medium. That will also be in the description. As well, so and give it that wet look and cuts. And that'll do for that. I'll wait for that to dry, and then I'm going to put in a bit of black. I'll clean the tip of this, because we're going to be needing it again in a bit for the black. Right then, while it wasn't recording, I did a little experiment with the red paint, and it wasn't showing through, so I had this other idea. Put more mix in it. I've put in a bit more red and some blue to give it a purpley, almost purpley reddish colour, more red than purple, but it's a little bit more darker, because when the other one dried it blended in too much, which is hardly seeable, so I made it a bit darker. So when I did that, I put the same measurement of water and latex in, so it's the same blend, same amount, so it's not too thick, because I will be using this one day with my airbrushes once I sort my pump out. So what we do, we take the sponge again that we made a little tip on, and we just go on these little dents, little dented bits, to make it look more like it's in deeper. I want to make this a little bit more pointy, make the sponge more thinner. So what I'll do is I'll squeeze that and roll it, and make it, that should do the job then. It gets very messy on your hands, but it's alright, it don't die or anything, it just rolls out. I'm not painting the whole thing, just some of the, not all, it doesn't have to be all, just some of the bits where it's holes, make it all stand out that little bit more. And then when it's dry, what we'll do is we will make it shiny by putting medium gloss. There we go. All we need to do now is put that on there, and after we've done the gloss bit, we'll add the hair. I'll see you guys in a tick. Alright guys, while it was paused, I thought I'd mess about, see if I can get my gun to work, because I really want to use that. Right, so I think that turned out quite well. If you can see, I don't know how well it's coming up. We'll have a little zoom in on that so you can have a better look. I'm no good at coordination, especially with the mirror. As you can see on there, the little darker spots on it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add more, let's get me a little point. We're going to add in some, all this here and these are going to be covered in, I'll show you what we've got. Zoom it back out. Oh, I forgot to turn the fan off. Zoom it back out. And what we're going to use, well what I'm going to use, is Liquitex. Right? It's acrylic mediums. It's a high gloss varnish. Okay? So what you need to do is, normally you'd have to wait until the paint is dry, say about a week or so. A week. But I'm not waiting that long. I don't normally do this. I mean, I know for a fact it's all dry anyway, so it's all good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this sponge that we made. Okay, and I'm also going to make some room. Take the top off actually. No, I don't want to do that. I want to put it in a tub. I'm going to squirt a little bit in a tub, just in case. Now these are good because they have these little tops. So this will be in the link in the description as well. There's a lot that's going to go in the description, aren't there? Take a bit out. We don't want too much, just a little. It's very runny as well, so. But we don't want a lot. We only want little bits, just enough to wet these. We'll do our first coat. Make sure it's spread all over. In fact, I will put a bit more in because it doesn't really matter, because I'll only be putting it back in again anyway. So completely soak it. Now this forms into like a rubber as well, so it's like latex, only you can't make a mask out of it. It's just like a coating, a varnish really. It's all it is. And I don't want to use my brush. Using a brush is not a bad idea, but you can also ruin it. So let's try and get around all these red bits on the inside. Making sure it's all well coated, because we want it to look, when this is dry, you're going to get white bits while it's wet, but when it's dry you can guarantee that it's not going to look like that when it's dry. A little bit on the outside if we can, around the rim of the skin, 'cause it's got to look inflated, wet. So that's that one. Make sure it doesn't drip down. We don't want it to drip down. I might actually put a little bit of blood on and drip that down. So get a bit in there. In fact, actually, what I could do is just do it like that. Get a little triangle, because we're covering it all, aren't we? So we just dab it in. I don't want it dripping down. a bit around the hook, but not right the way up the hook. We just want to go only on the wet bit really. Try and soak some of this up. I don't want it running down. That'll do for there, that one. And I've got this one. And we'll leave that to dry for the first coat, and then we'll come back for the second coat. Put the lid on, don't forget to put the lid on, and then we'll come back, so that doesn't dry anyway. And I'll see you guys in the tip. Move this out of the way then. Looking good. Nice and shiny now. Ready for the second coat. There's another good thing about this. Doing this will also protect the paint that you put on, as well as the latex protecting it. This stuff will protect it as well. You know, I could have put a bit of yellow in it actually as well, so it looks like infected. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Kinda like that idea. Right. Now I'm going to need to do the lips. We need to do the lips. Now, because you can't have the lips just all the same colour as the skin, it just won't look right, will it? Our lips are a little bit red. And then a little bit pink as well. And you can't use something that's too pink, because it'll look like he's got lipstick on, or she. So I made a touch of flesh, touch of white, and darker flesh, and I used pink acrylic, all acrylic. It's rose pink. So you mix that up right, and you get this. Don't know if it's going to come up. You get that colour there. So it's got latex and obviously water in it. Give it a good mix. Now we just put it on thin around the lip shape, and I need to line it up so I got it right. I'm going to use another sponge because I can't use my airbrushes at the minute for some crazy reason. I just don't want to know. We need that. I'm not going to use that because I need that. Another sponge. Just dab it in. And what we'll do is we'll just dab it on the lips. trying to keep that lip shape best we can. See if we got it okay. And what I'll do is I'll just put this on here and just dab it along like that. Try and keep it as tidy as you can. You want to keep that shape. I might have to put a couple of coats on. There we go. I'll leave that one to dry and put a little bit more over his lips. Now in theory it should blend in with the skin. I am hoping. There we go. And we'll leave that to dry. Put the lid back on my paint. And I'll catch you guys as soon as it's dry. Let's see how these lips did. Yeah, they're not too bad. Stand out a little. They're still a bit too pinky, but there's not much you can do about lips. It's hard to get the lips a natural colour where it's not looking like lipstick, but it's alright. Okay, so now we need to paint this bit here, and for that I've got a grey colour, and to make this colour I use acrylic white and acrylic black, latex and water. Same measurements. We'll use the same sponge. In fact, actually, I'm going to use this little one. You guys can use an airbrush if you like, but as you know, I can't seem to use mine at the minute. But we'll carry on. The show must go on. Yeah, alright. I could use a paintbrush. A little paintbrush, but I'm not going to go over the red here. But yeah, I could use a paintbrush, but then that would be goodbye to the paintbrush. But we don't need it. We don't need a paintbrush to paint this. I can do it like this. Try and get under it if I can. For this bit, I'm thinking I wanted to use a spray. I could have put a piece of paper and just run over, but I can't do that. I want to separate this now from this. After that, we'll put the hair on. I mean, we could use black. How am I for black? Wow. Made a plastic lid over it. What was it going to get? There we go. Right. See if we can paint this black on. Get a bit of tissue. Let's see what we got. Would have been better if I did it more of a creamy white. Just trying to get underneath it the best I can. Right, touching that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit of paper or something. This way I can paint around it without worrying too much that it's going to get onto the face. I'll do that. Yeah, I've got a steady hand. trying to keep this line bit done. If I can get the outside, you know, the sides done, then the rest is easy then. I wonder if I can just use this side here. Just to I need something there where I can just try and tidy the sides even. Should do. And there we have the rope. And we have the lips. Aha! Okay, so we'll leave that to dry, and then when that's all dry, we're going to come back and I'm going to stick the hair on. Catch you in a bit, guys. Let's see. I put on a little bit of brown as well around the hook bit. Not so sure about it now, but I think it's still looking good. We need to sort out the hair. In fact, actually, what I might do is I might get a brush, dab in a little of the light red paint onto the brush and then splash a few dots onto it. Yeah, why not? You just dab in a little tiny touch, dab it onto something so it's not got too much, because you just want a few little splashes here and there where it's got too much. You know, where the cuts, you know, where it's got all cut up, because you know, nice to have a bit of splash of blood here and there. Who knows? It might not even be his blood. Smudge on a little bit of. Might even take some of this off actually. before it dries. Take a little bit off here and there. If you find you got too much, don't rub too hard or anything. It's nice to have a little bit of smudge on it though, here and there. A little bit more splashes back on. What we'll do, get this off the brush before it dries. Now we want the hair. In fact, what am I doing? I want to put a few little drips of blood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a fair bit on here. I'm hoping it'll start to run down. If not, what I'll do is I'll just put a little line. Same on this side. Make it fairly thin. If we can. Actually, I won't make it a neat line, I'll make it more of a wiggled. I'll leave that to dry. There's some bits coming from here. Trying to make the end a bit thicker. And when that dries, that's going to look pretty good. And what we'll do is we'll put some more of that gloss on it to make it more, so it shines out a bit. put a dot up here so if it's dripped. So a bit there. Put a dollop. Here. There you go, guys, getting there. Right, so that's that done. I want this to dry before I start putting any more on. And while we're waiting for that to dry, which shouldn't take too long, we need to pick a hair colour. So, all these will be in the description as well. So there's lots of different colours that you get. You get loads. You can see a lot. I'm thinking more black, maybe. I'm not a full tash. I'm thinking maybe half tash. It comes like that down. Gonna need the latex. Won't need a lot of latex for it. Just a little bit should do. Could do with a bit more red around there. And the nose bit, so I'm going to put a little bit more up. Maybe a little tip. And that should do it. Same with there as well, needs a little dab. There it goes. Then I think it's going to take a little bit longer than I thought to dry. So, I'll catch you guys in a bit. I think that's long enough. I think it's time we put the hair on. I want to make these bits here shiny, a little wet look. Trying to keep it in that line of the running blood, so it's just that bit there that's shiny. stands out just that little bit more. Being careful here not to make it drip or run. Right. Ooh, a bit more of that. It's not very shiny, is it? For some strange reason. It should have gone. There we go. Get that dry. Put this behind there so the wind doesn't get to it. We'll get that to dry. And then we'll put the beard on. Well, not beard, tash. Right, I think that would do. What we're going to do now is we're going to put on the hair. Now, I'm thinking maybe a bit going down, like that. You know, and then just cut it above the lip, so it's like a tash, and then trim it and cut the hair. Or I can go full beard. No, I'm thinking maybe go at an angle, just like that. So what we'll do is we'll cut bits off what we need, and then I'm going to go over, trying to keep it thick if I can. So I'd say about, you know, we need to be at an angle. So let's cut this off, a little piece. I should do. And what we'll do is, like this. and I'm gonna, like as if I'm painting the tash. But with the latex. So let's try and put this into a slant. If I can. I can't find my other scissors, and they're sharper. Try and keep it all together. When you cut these, it's just one little problem. They start coming loose. So, with a lollipop stick, in fact, I'm going to use a different one. Go in at an angle. Need a bit more. Once you've got it pressed in, put in a little bit more over the top. My angle's gone. That's it. There we go. Now when this is dry, I can cut some off and then go over again. In fact, I'm going to line down and do it like this, because there's less pressure on it then. And push all these. Put them all back together again. Now normally, I've seen people do these, and I've seen them use glue guns or silicone rubber, but I don't really have the time for that. And whereas my glue sticks have come into it, I'm really low on glue sticks, so it don't matter. This doesn't take long to dry anyway, so some will come loose, obviously. Can't keep them all in, unfortunately, but what I will do is I'll see if I can push some of these down. Bless you, darling. I'm very carefully taking some of these strands that goes higher than what I need them to be. So I can keep it as tidy as I can. I don't want it to go places where it's not meant to be. I don't think that's too bad. We need to do the same the other side, and then once that's dry I'm going to start working my way down the mace. I'm having it at this angle because it's a little bit easier, because when I turn it the wind's going to blow that way and it's going to blow that way away from it, so it won't blow all this up. And then any bits that may look a bit messed up, we can just, as long as you've still got a load of hair left over, you can just come back to it and tidy it up. In fact, I'm not going to cut the little sewed bits off. I'll do that after, so I can mark out then. No, I will cut these off actually. I'll cut them off first. That way I can alter the angle that I want them to be. And then any that's left off, we can just tidy that up, can't we, as we go along. I'm trying to give it that trying to get them level. Just give me an idea. I wanted to go in at an angle because that's the way your hair grows, but it's not very easy. keep it as identical to each other as I possibly can. I think I might go full beard. I mean, some of this would get cut. Shush. Some of them's coming away, which I expected anyway, but not this amount. That's better. Really, I should have put a glue gun on. But oh well, we get there. Still gonna look good, either way. This is going to take a while, so I'll be back as soon as we've done the tash. Right, let's check this out. Hopefully these are dry good. So as you can see, what I did is I went all down best I can. It didn't need to be too perfect anyway. And then I also did some hair around here. Now I'm thinking of trimming this bit here around the mouth part. So I didn't go right under. You can see I just went down and then I worked my way up. A bit there and then a bit on top of there and a bit on top of there. And then I just dabbed a bit more latex on the outside to give it some extra strength. It will need a tidy down, but very carefully. That's all you need to do, is just do it very carefully, and it gets any excess hairs off then. But I can guarantee you that you will get strands coming off. If you do, just get a few bits, get it, try and tidy it up into a pile, together. Look for any excess really long bits. Just dab it a little bit, just put a little bit on and glue it back on. That's all you need to do, guys. Really, I could have put that on there. Just needs tidying up here and there, and that's it. Give it, like I said, give it a little brush down, a little trim to the way you want it. I might trim this down. I don't know. As you can see, now you can't see the sides where it's going up and down. You'll just see the lips. I might just keep that actually. I kind of like that. Yeah. Alright guys, let's have a look at this. Bring it in closer. And there you go. There you have it. I might add some more eventually, but I'm always like that anyway. When I do a mask, I might come up with an idea, add a bit more to it. I'm thinking about taking it around, or I might just leave it. I don't know. Or curl it. But yeah. Oh well, that comes to the end of my video, my tutorial. If you enjoyed the tutorial and it's been helpful, let me know. Drop a comment down. Give us a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, I'll see what I can do. I try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. Please remember, I am no pro. If you can see, I've seen people make better ones than this, but I do mess about and I do make them better, and that's what I suggest to you to do. Once you've made a mask, explore, experiment, see where you get. Keep it up, because the more you like it, the more you want to do it. The more you do it, the better you become, and the more ideas you get, and the more you like, the more ideas you get, and the more better you get, the more you enjoy it, and so on and so on and so on. It's like a loop, isn't it? So I'm going to keep doing it. This is one of my all-time favourites now, but in the next tutorial I can guarantee I'll be a lot more better with this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put clay on, not this, but on my mannequin, and we'll sculpt a face out of it, and then we will use plaster of Paris to make the mould. We'll spray it with MAC wax, just release so the plaster doesn't stick. I'll show you how to key and spray. I'm bound to have my guns working by then, so I'm not going to be doing another video tomorrow. I'm going to be having a little break. I need to focus on trying to get my glue guns working. I have no idea why that's not working. Probably needs a new funnel, I don't know. But yeah, that's what we'll be doing. So stay awesome out there, guys, and stay safe. And I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thanks for sticking through it. You guys rock. Stay safe, guys.